until only I
Om and Namaste. Welcome everyone to Satsang today. And I'm actually very happy that so many people felt to come today. What triggered today's satsang was a few days ago you were talking and I had mentioned the effectiveness, the potency, the directness, the immediacy of self-inquiry as perhaps the most direct and the most effective tool to the recognition of the self, of what we are. Now, and I'd said that nevertheless, it seems elusive. It seems difficult to understand. It seemed difficult to understand. And even the days of Sri Ramana Maharshi, when he was present with us on this planet, even a greater teacher as he was and is, even his own disciples found it difficult to grasp the directness and the simplicity and the power of self-inquiry. Now, there are many, many, many paths, maybe as many paths as there are seekers into the realization of the truth. Why I say this is because in each one, even if 1,000 people are practicing through the method of inquiry or any other path, no? It will still be uniquely experienced through the instrument of each body. I don't want to bring too much of that because I don't think it is so significant. I've tried somehow to present the inquiry in the most simple way because in fact it is simple. And the truth, what we are, this is not a teaching. What you are is not a teaching. What we are is not something we are going to create or develop. You see, teachings and methods may develop, but what you are cannot develop. That is one of the fundamental pointers, that what you are is not an evolutionary outcome, that it is timelessly, eternally perfect. This is not belief. And by the time we'll spend some time together today, I hope most, if not all of you, come to understand this or have at least a better understanding of what this self-inquiry is. You see? I put it like the inquiry is like a mirror. Just like you look in a mirror and immediately you see your face, a reflection of your face. The inquiry is a bit like that. It is like somehow looking into the mirror of introspection and seeing a reflection of your pure being. You're not the one in the mirror, but the mirror enables you to both see, although it seems that your seeing is phenomenal, but at the same time it's experienced here. Just like I see my hand there, but where I perceive it is here in me. Everything is inside of us. Now, the human beings, we want to know many things in the life, but ourselves we don't know. Why? Because we take for granted ourselves that I am me. I am me. And what is that? Well, of course, it's me. Yeah, me. So, okay, but this is your body. Your body. Is your body saying, I am me? Or is there something else or more inside the body that's saying, I am me? And this which was saying, I am me, What is that? You see? Now, of course, because we are so unused to, we're not accustomed to asking this kind of question. Because no one in our life asks us this kind of question. Your parents don't ask you. Our friends don't ask. In no institution is asked, including religious institution. Nobody asks you, who are you? So of course it feels deeply, it's I call it the main assumption. We just assume that it is our body, I am my body, and my beliefs and the conditioning that arose in my body amounts to what I am. But this has not proven to be enough, because with this belief, we still struggle to be happy. We still struggle to be to understand who we are, what our purpose is, or whether we do have a purpose or something like this. And what brought us here? Where did we come from? Where are we going? Is there a going place after you finish this story in this body? Do you move on to something else? Because the body will fall. Then is that it? Is that all there is to us? So these are ancient questions people have been asking like that. And we have many theories, we have many ideas about life, but few know. Many beliefs, many doctrines, but few sort of know inside the heart. You see. So in spite of so much study, so much effort, so much literature, so much philosophy, so much religion, human beings still are at a loss as to who we fundamentally are. And it is not a knowledge that you're going to have in your head. Whatever we have in our head does not stay. Amnesia will take it away. Something will take it away. Is there something that cannot be taken away? That will not, even the body may get sick. Mind also can get sick. Is there something that cannot get sick? Body can die. Mind can become deluded and despondent and in full despair, and we can go crazy. Is there something that is not touched by any of these things? So I felt it was a good subject again to start in as simple a way as I could, to try and look a bit into this subject and to ask you to participate with me in this exploration, not lecture, and to look together to see what we can discover together, like that, today. Yeah, because for some years now I've been talking on this subject. It's the only subject I talk about. And still some have not grasped it, even in spite of many years, and not quite kind of get it, but not really. So is it that we don't understand because the subject is so complex? We don't understand because you have to be a very, very strong meditator. You have to do the work of a lot of spiritual background and exercises in the past to be eligible, to be a candidate for this freedom. And perhaps you have not done enough. Why is it difficult? You see? And what is difficult? What is difficult? Is it because the subject, the whole quest is to come to a true and profound experiential understanding of what I am, what you are. Why to even do that? Why to bother even? Well, until we do know in the heart, we continue to be restless and dissatisfied happy only momentarily, mostly pursuing one thing after another, imagining that something will fulfill us and find after a short time it does not. You see. So I feel it is a very crucial subject for exploring. It's the most important subject I feel in the human kingdom. But of course, many may disagree. Some people may not even have any the slightest interest in this at this moment. But at some point, life will compel you to look beneath the surface to find out, to get more out of this existence than merely material comforts and human company. So there must be something much more profound than this. So where do we start now? I told you that I did not do any preparation at all for this. As many of you will know, that is very much my style. I can't prepare and I didn't prepare. So things become, it's fresh. We have to be fresh, you see. Because if I prepare something, you may learn something. I've not been able to do this. Even from my days of teaching at college, I was not able to prepare one class. So obviously I chose subjects that were not too mental. Like art was my subject, which was more intuitive and more kind of, but still, even with the intuitive arts, you need to do some preparation. And I got away with it for a little bit. And then after a certain point, the requirements were so demanding that I had to drop the whole thing. Something inside knew that life, I could not be, it had to be, everything is spontaneous. It was not a belief. It was not an attitude. I just could not help it. It had to be just, it has to be now. Something, it's just now, it's fresh. It wasn't a philosophy. It wasn't a belief. It wasn't that I thought about it. I was just not able to function like that. The plan I had, in a meaningful, deep, rigid way. At best I could manage was to make some feeble sketches, which themselves I saw went through innumerable changes before. You see? So I feel the most truthful way of encountering each other is to come fresh, empty. And then what happens? Something else happens. Out of the spontaneity of us being together, we're in real time with the universe. Because the universe is not planning somewhere down the road. It will produce seeds that will take time to sprout, but it doesn't plan how those seeds will sprout. All of life is one thing. This is another thing that you're going to find out, not as a teaching, but as discovery. I don't know how much today. Today, I only want to focus on the fundamental thing, on the basic thing. We don't need to know so many things. We just become confused. You see, you just need to know the right thing, the thing you need to know now. You see, you don't need 50 keys to open one lock. You need the right key. You understand? You can have 1,000 keys and you'll just be 1,000 times confused, more lost. You just need the right key. So today, I'm hoping that we have found the right key to open what? The mystery into our own nature, like that. So it sounds huge thing. But I say it's the most simple thing. One, why? Because what we are trying to find is already here. First thing, isn't it? What you're trying to find is not somewhere in the next room or someplace in some divine vault waiting to be discovered. It is right here. It has always been right here. And what you're going to find is that it didn't arrive here. Didn't arrive here because it is infinite. Now, I am saying it is infinite, but But you are going to have to discover if it is infinite or not. If I only tell you it is infinite and you only accept it infinite, you're only parroting my words. You have to discover yourself that it is infinite. And I intend today to prove to you that it is so and that you are that. So it's a big order, no? I come to like this today, and we have to prove like this. And also, I'm not prepared. So let's see how it goes now. Okay. Everyone speaks some language. Even deaf people have to learn some language. Everyone has a wide language to communicate something. Everybody has to speak some language. In order for any language to be spoken, whether from a deaf person who is doing this thing and this and like this, or with words or something to be spoken, something has to be there. First thing has to be there. First thing of any language at all. Okay. First thing that has to be there is the sense I has to be there. You must have first a sense that you exist, the one who wishes to communicate something. Only when the first arising, the sense I, or the intuition, the feeling, the sense I am, the knowledge I am, means I exist. Only after I exist is formed can the sense you come. I must arise before you. You cannot arise before I. We're going to show you. I must be there because the sense you takes its meaning from I. I see you. I cannot refer to you without having a sense of me or I. This is fundamental thing. Okay? You can try it. Try and speak without you, without the sense. Yes, what I want to do is what I am trying to tell you, what I believe, what I went, what I think. I is the subject behind almost everything you say or think. Not only say, but think. I am not feeling well today. I am not able to come. I think I've understood this more closely than I must be there. You see? Take any language. Find a dictionary for this language. Thousands of words are there. But no one is more important than I. None of them have any meaning without I. At least a sense. Who is speaking? Who is understanding? Again, it is myself. I. So that is the most important principle of language, of the sense of self-awareness, even if no one else in the world exists but you. You'll be aware of yourself. You'll be aware of the feeling, I exist, I am. Even without the words, you would know you exist. This knowing that you exist is the feeling I am inside the body. Where did you get this feeling I am from? Was it from your parents? Where did it come from? Your name you received from your parents. But no parent has ever christened their child I am or I. Nobody. Okay? Let's call this baby George. Let's call this baby Susan. For a while they're calling, hello Susan, hello Susan, hello Georgie, hello Georgie. This thing doesn't know I am George. Just looking. It responds to feeling of warmth, of love, of milk. It doesn't know it's called milk. It doesn't know this is mother. Doesn't know this is father. Doesn't know anything at all. But it is somehow naturally self-aware. Soon, the sense begins to, the consciousness is developing. And the first development, it becomes aware of itself in the form I am. It doesn't say it. You see, the I am is there before the words I am come. The I am is there as an awareness of yourself, the sense I am. That is the first knowledge. That is the first knowledge. You see, as I said before, if nobody else on the planet was here, you will still know you are. You will still have the feeling, well, I'm here. If you woke up one day and there's no one, the whole planet has disappeared, at least the people, you will say, where did they go? You didn't say, where did I go? You will know I am. This I is there. It witnessed the absence or the presence of others. The I must be there. Okay? I'm keeping repeating this I because it is the fundamental precept, the fundamental, the essence of language itself is I. It's the one who speaks, the one who listens, the one who lives, the one who thinks I die, I go, I come, I sleep, I'm awake, I see you, I see your sister, I see my mother, I see I is there. So as soon as the I arises, first the form is there, the consciousness, which is the knowing capacity, has to develop sufficiently to be aware of itself in the form I am. Just I am. When it believes this I am, it needs a body also to feel I am. It needs a body to feel I am. As soon as the body comes and the feeling I am, this body comes. The feeling I am, this body comes. Second one. Once it knows I am this body, other knowledge can start to come on top. That is the root knowledge. Other knowledge, this is my mother, this is my father. You see, otherwise the father has no meaning. The parents give birth to the child, but the child gives birth to the parents also, because until the child is born, you are not a father and you are not a mother. When the child comes, then the mother comes, then the father comes. You see? So this sense I is fundamental. One I in each form, the sense I am must arise. The sense I, if you cannot speak, the sense I am, meaning self-awareness must be there. Then self-awareness believes I'm a woman because I've got female body. I'm a man, I've got male body. You see? The sense I am is not the body, but when it believes it's the body, then it believes it's the body type. The body type is male or female. It says I'm a man or I'm a woman. This is the beginning of concepts. Why? Because the I am is not the body. The I am, you may say, is a kind of intuitive knowingness. You may call spirit. You may call the sense of being. It is not an object. It's a sense. It is actually consciousness that is speaking like this. So this is the first thing. You cannot say, I am not. Because to say, I am not, you must be there to say, I am not. Okay? So we will come to a bit more about these things. Now, if the sense I am is not the body, and if it is not the body, and it is not other thoughts that come like, I'm a girl, and girls wear pink, and boys wear blue, and then I go to school, my mother is this, my parents are Christians, my mother is Christian, my father is Hindu, don't know what that is, whatever like this. You see, this is the building of concepts. And with the building of ideas or concepts, then I am, which is none of them, embrace the concepts. And an identity is formed out of this. And every identity is unique. Every identity is unique. Every circumstance is unique. In the same way you go to bed and you dream, a very unique dream. That even someone you love, your twin or your beloved is next to you, they can't share the same dream with you. Your dream is unique. In the same way, your perception of the waking life is unique in the sense of how things feel for you, how they taste for you, what you think they are. Some days you like something, sometimes you don't like the same thing, like that. Nobody can control it. You say, somebody come to you and they say, okay, what temperature do you, suppose you have someone, a good servant, and they say, what temperature do you like your bath to be? You're going to go to a bath. And what temperature do you like? You say, I like it to be 38 degrees. 38 degrees. Tomorrow they come, you say, it's too cold. But you said 38 degrees. It's 38 degrees. You cannot be consistent about this thing because your body's changing, your feelings are changing. So whatever you regard yourself to be, even this cannot stabilize. Things are changing. Your moods change. Your feelings change, climate change, people you're thinking change. So nothing is so steady in this field. Yet we seem to be living in one common earth. One earth. Right now, nearly 8 billion human beings are on this planet. And we all have the same one house. All of us are living in the same one house called Earth. And it has to cater for all these different ways of being. All these different ways of being. Now, let's come back to our point, the sense I am. So the parents did not give you. Nobody taught you the feeling I. Where it come from? It is synonymous with existence. It is the way in which consciousness, which is what we are fundamentally, this is the way that consciousness announces itself in the body. The feeling I am, I exist, means I exist. If you don't exist, nothing exists for you. Only after this I exist feeling come, then other things can come. The sense you can come, world can come, life can come, time come, change come, all of this comes like that. You are the witness of them. They all report to you, to your consciousness. It is you who perceive them. But one thing went missing is that we forgot how important we are to our perceiving. Everything depends upon your perception. Everything depends upon the way you perceive them. That is how important you are. You feel that, you study and learn many things, and you believe or disbelieve many things. But in the end, you're experiencing a world according to you, according to your conditioning, what you believe it is. Like that. Let's just take a second. We say I. We say I. I think, I believe, I want, I do, I don't do. I accept, I don't accept. I. Then I ask you, what exactly is I? Now, if you answer me with anything I tell you, like I am consciousness, if you try it, I am consciousness. You may say the words, I am consciousness, and from the point of view of words and language, it is correct. Yet it is not true for you yet. It's just words. Very often it's just words. I am George. What does it mean? I am George. Who the hell is George? I am George. What it means? I am George. I'm Susan. What is Susan? It's just name. The I am is there even before the name come, because without the I am consciousness, the name has no meaning. It's the I am consciousness that accepts any name. You can change your name. You can change even your belief. your religion, your country. You can change your partner. You can change many things. But something fundamentally remains unchanged in you. We want to find out what that is. Not intellectually, but experientially, we need to find this out. Because until we do, we are feeling that we are restless. You imagine something is going to make you happy, but after a short while, it doesn't make you happy. You look for something else to make you happy, and everything is only for a time, and everything is only in time. I can say in a way that we are three aspected. The physical aspect of ourself is this body. The body was born in time, lives in time, and departs in time. That aspect of ourself, you may say like this, as a birth, as a life, as death. You may say this thing. Mind also. The sense of mind, there's no thing such as just mind. Mind is only a relationship of yourself, which is consciousness or the beingness, with thought together, or identity. That is also in time. That is also belonging to time, and that is also not stable. It is always changing. That from where the body and the mind emerge, like a tree emerging out of a seed, that from where they come, the seed of them, we call the pure self. This is the goal or the aim of all spiritual seeking, to find where you come from, your source. Most seeds, as soon as they germinate, the seed is finished. It starts to become something else. The difference with the self is that when it germinates into a living being, it does not change. It remains the source. You see. If we learn anything, whatever we have learned or believe, came after the I thought, the I concept, the first arising, the first born. It is referred to as consciousness, or the dynamic consciousness, the creative consciousness. That creative consciousness comes out of a deeper consciousness, which does not do anything. It simply is. It just is. It's not a doer. It simply is. That is the ultimate discovery of all spiritual striving, is to discover the what is, that you may call the absolute, the ultimate principle, the supreme being, God, you can call like that. And what is our relation with this God? Are we only the creation of this high God? Do we have more of a status within this God? Are we simply a part of the God? Are we one with the God? Are we as great as the God? We have to find it out today. How are we going to do it now? Because the belief is there, because the fundamental belief is there, first I am, and then the I am splits into I am the body. The I am sense exists by itself. It does not need anything, but it's as though it is compelled by some power to identify with the body. The identification with the body makes room for other thoughts to come. Other thoughts plus the I am the body idea create the sense of an individual, a person. And because the body is growing and the conditioning and the experiences are changing, we have a sense of growth like this. And we feel that we're living, growing, evolving, evolutionary being like this. But there is another dimension inside us, which is not growing. Growth takes place in it and is perceived in it and by it, but does not affect it. This is why you are able to perceive subtle things, and you're going to see that you're perceiving and have the capacity to perceive a lot broader than we presently do. Everything that you see, even the most subtle things, like there are thoughts and sensations which have no name yet, but you perceive them because of the subtlety of consciousness. You perceive them. There are some feelings you are not able to really put any name to them. You are the perceiver of them. Subtle thought, sensation, imagery, feeling, projections, discriminative powers, the power to discriminate between fantasy and actuality. All these things, a capacity nobody taught you. It simply arises within your own consciousness. This is the marvelousness of the consciousness, the root consciousness. The root consciousness is there, whether it is identified with the body and the body's characteristics or conditioning or not. One of the great steps of spiritual discovery is when we are able to recognize the sense I am without combining it with any other thought or feeling. It's as though you sieve it out, and so only the feeling I am remains without connecting with other concepts. But because this was begun early in the childhood of one lifespan, it seems very strongly embedded in the consciousness. I am the body, I am a woman, I'm a man. In the beginning, for many people, there is no aspiration, there's no desire to go beyond this belief, which seems like it's an unchallenged fact that I'm a woman. It seems sometimes more loud than I am consciousness. But first you had to be consciousness before you had the thought you're a woman or you're a man. Do we understand this or not? Okay. Before any understanding came, the first understanding must be, I am. I exist. No other knowledge is more important than the conscious knowing, I am. Only when the idea, I am the body, I'm a man, and so on come, along with our cultural conditionings, our religious conditioning, political conditioning, comes the pressure to perform according to our cultural norms and traditions and so on. So the most important thing is to understand what this I am is, because it's not enough. You say I am, everyone says I am, but few understand what I am is. And it feels, why the need to understand? And the reason why we ask why the need to understand is because it feels sufficient enough that I know I'm a man, I'm a woman. What more do we want from the life, you know? I know I'm a man. I never question, never doubt if I'm a man and maybe I'm a woman or something. Why should I say, who am I? Why would he even bother with this? So this question is not going to have a universal appeal in the beginning for many people. It's only somewhere along the line, and even with many religious people, spiritual people have been practicing for many years, it may not be a path that they're aware of. They still feel, I am a servant of God, I'm a pilgrim, I am a Muslim, I'm a Christian. They use the same I am, and we say, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm Hindu, I'm atheist, or so on. But what does it really mean? I am is what? Because most people, they don't understand. They say, I am is me, the person. I am is the person, me. I am a Christian, I'm Muslim. And it seems it's enough. You see, why would we go further than this? Isn't that enough of a fact? Isn't enough of a fact to say, I'm a Jamaican, I am, 42 years old, I am this thing, because it's accepted everywhere. It's your credit card, it's accepted everywhere. This one. No one ever challenges it. But it is put now. When you say I, what do you take your I to be? Because, as I said before, it is written, God says, I am. I am. But the devil also says, I am. The ego also say, I am. Even a mosquito believes, I am. Everything feels. Life says, I am, inside the farm or something like that. No? Hmm? So we are just trying to see which I am are you speaking from when you say I am. And if you listen keenly, you'll see almost always, go to any restaurant, sit down quietly, listen to conversations. I did this, and see when people speak as I, what are they referring to? And you'll soon see it is, I am this body. I am this person. I am my conditioning. That is as far as we go. It will not be enough to recognize the truth on such a flimsy assumptions. It's very important to understand what I am actually is experienced inside this body when you say I am. And we are going to go now into that. I want you first to understand the difference between an assumption, because mostly we are learning from second-hand concepts that's handed down to us that we have never challenged. We just, like a child can learn to speak a language without understanding what the real meaning is, just by growing up in that environment. We use words, we have a sense of what they mean. We have a sense of when you say I, what it means. It means me. And beyond this me sense, no one looks further into this me sense. What is me? Who am I? Again, why? Because nobody wants to know particularly. If you look deeper than that, people think you're a freak. If you look more deeply, then, who are you? Well, my name is so and so and so. I'm a 23-year-old woman from Brazil. I studied here at this academy. I did this, blah, 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 blah. And I am applying for this job. Nobody goes further than this to question you. You see, this is all you need. This is your password to be a visible being in this world, to enter the game of transacting and interacting with other beings. It's only enough to know your gender, date of birth, study, what you have done, experience. Boom, it's enough. Here we are proceeding more deeply. When you say I, what does it mean? And this is the birth of inquiry. The inquiry looks at, when we all say I, what is the implication of I? It is not merely a mental study or a mental exploration or psychological or intellectual. It is a research, an exploration into the living truth of what we are. You see? Now, I'll start with a simple exercise. If someone came and said, excuse me, there's a Volkswagen car just parked outside here. Would the owner please remove it? Whose car is it? Somebody may say, oh, sorry, it's mine. You will not say, it's me. You will say, it is mine. You will not say, it is me. There is a clear difference. It belongs to me. Use the word mine. Mine is related to I. Me also related to I. It belongs to me. Mine means it belongs to me. Mine. You can also say, this is my family. My family. Not me. Not me. My family. They are connected with me. They belong to me. My family. You can say, my body is tired. My, not me. You follow? My body was exhausted. So something is aware of body and exhaustion. it is not the body and it is not exhausted. It says the body's exhausted. It said my body was exhausted. So again, my, I. What is saying? My body. It can also say that my sight in this eye, in the left eye, is not very strong. It's very weak. It's a functioning about 60%. In the right eye, it's about, I'd say, 85%. So it observes sight even. It knows the strength of sight or the weakness of sight. It is not the sight. It says, my sight is not as good as it used to be. It also can say, my memory is not as good as it used to be. It is not memory. It knows memory. It observes memory. It says, I used to be able to remember every person's name here, if I'm told it. For 1 year, I would not forget the names. Now, I can't remember even 2 or 3. It knows memory and the abilities of memory. If memory has faded, it observes memory, my memory. You follow me or not? Okay? Okay, so memory, it is not. Senses, it is not. Family, it is not. This is my religion. My religion, not me. My chosen religion or whatever. Okay? Some people say, my ego is very strong. My ego, not me. What is this me? My ego, not me. Who's speaking? My ego, not me. Okay? My relationship is not flowing very well at the moment. We had a beautiful relationship 6 months ago, but now it's just completely falling apart. Relationship, I am not. Oh, my life is over. My life is over. My husband has left me. My children are gone. My life is my life. Who speaks? My life is over. I am not over. My life as is conceived as whatever shape, that is probably going to change. And also somebody say, come on, George Norris, come on, Susan, why you speak like that? You're only speaking from an emotional state. It's not true. Yes, but okay. That's my emotions are a bit like that. Emotions, you're not. My emotion. I am not emotion also. What is left now? Oh, my breathing is very heavy. My heart is beating very strong. My heart, not me. My emotions, I'm a very emotional kind of person. My emotions are like this. My emotion. You're not emotion. My breath is getting weaker. Okay? Hospital, I have to get an appendix operation. They put the gas. I'm breathing. I see. I am losing consciousness. I am watching consciousness go. Who is I? Who is I? When any of these, I can say, I am not. They depend upon me. I am the weakness of them. I am the seeing. I am the weakness of them. They are not witnessing me. I am looking at my hand. My hand is not looking at me. This is my autobiography, not me. So we go through everything, not merely the body, not the vital force, not the breathing, not the senses, not intellect, not the memory, My mind creates a lot of fantasies. Fantasy, create, mind, not me. Who is me? So for a moment, leaving all these that you say belong as mine. My house burnt down. No more. Am I burnt down? Who am I? Now, looking at all these things, my life, my dreams, my future, my past. I don't have a good past. I had a troubled past. Past, time, all of this, not me. I'm the weakness of them. So let's leave them all aside for a moment. What remains is the sense I or I am. Take a moment. Feel this sense I am. Does it have gender? Does it have past? Does past stick to it? When it says, oh, the past is gone. Oh, I don't have any future now. My future is gone. Whatever we speak. Emotions, relations, philosophy, memory, intellect, breath, heartbeat. All these you perceive. You who are perceiving all of these, what are you made of? You're not your body. Some people born boy got converted into girl later also. Some feel that they are different orientations. They perceive that you're not that. Who are you here? Don't imagine, no. You already said imagination, you're not. That which is aware of imagination or actuality. What actually are you? Something is here, isn't it? Something is here, but it's a kind of something nothing. Does anybody feel somehow disturbed by this looking? Yes. Pass this microphone for me. Behind.
What I observed just before, it's like a ping pong ball inside. I see that something want to attach to something.
Yeah.
Search.
Something is going ting tong ting tong ting tong ting tong ting tong ting tong. But you are not going ting tong ting tong ting tong ting tong. You're watching ting tong ting tong ting tong ting tong. But you are not ting tong ting tong ting tong ting tong. Isn't it? Put anything there, let anything come, and you'll see that it is only a movement inside your mind or consciousness. It's only a movement. What makes a difference is how significant you take that movement to be. If you say, wow, man, this is, oh, look at, oh, no, then you see right there, what we are doing is creating a relationship with that and personalizing it. When you personalize something, it seems to bring it much more intimately. It seems to make it more true for you. It's not necessary to personalize. You can perceive, and in fact, the truest perception is non-personal or impersonal, because you simply are aware. But if you don't embrace it personally, if you don't say, oh, why is this happening to me? It's simply happening. And emotions are involved in it, but you stay as the I that witnesses all of this. What is happening to the weakness? The habit is to say something is happening to me, or, oh, this is too much for me. I can't take any more of this. Who is speaking? Who is speaking when this thing happened? Somebody is come and says, call you again and say, listen, you thought you just cleared up all your bills, and they call you again and say, listen, I'm sorry, but we can't accept this last check. And you say, I've just had enough. I can't cope with any of this. Okay. Now we can say that and it means nothing. It's just letting off some steam. I've just had enough of this. Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. So what you going to do now? Jump off a bridge? No, I just have to say that. Okay. But another one, I've had enough. Ah! Okay. So it just depends on the strength of how deeply it is believed. Because when it is believed, it creates a sense of a me and makes this me feel really real, like that. Simply, even that state, even if it's a very, very emotional state, very strong state, it is also observed. Now there's a strong feeling here. Now the feeling is getting weaker. Just like you feel a toothache is coming, and it gets very strong. Then you take some aspirins, and then it goes. All the while, I am not that toothache, even though it is strong. Then it goes, it's gone. It's not you. If it was you, when it was gone, you would be gone. But you witness the coming, the strength of it, the weakness of it, the disappearance of it. And everything is like that. Who is I? Again, we come back to I. Now look again. What is I? Now, because of habit, we are accustomed to feeling I is me, person. Again, you go back to the old formula. I am this person, I'm the daughter of so and so and so. And who do you think? You're only my cousin, you're not my sister. You're all of these concepts. But deeply believed in, they are lived as though they are truths. And for many people, they don't care whether it's true or not. They live in the feeling of it. The feeling is enough. But those who are searching for what is true, I have given you a simple exercise. If you are the witness of all of this, of your breath, of your form, gender, your height, your weight, your belief, your education, your preferences, your family, your thoughts, your attachments, your projections, and see, but all of these are interchangeable. If I take any of these out, I'm still here. If I take any of these out, I am still here. If I take all of them out, I am still here. Who is here? Now you may say, my existence is here, my body is here, my life. Yes, because at some point, the consciousness that is supported by the body, if the vital functions or the body dies, the consciousness will just have to leave the house. It won't stay in a dead house. I just want to come to this point. Are you having a sense now that you are not merely the object of the body? Does anybody have any query about this one? Okay, over there, what you want to say. And be quick with this, yeah. Just pass it on.
There's something that still feels that when this body goes, I will go.
That's okay. That's okay for the moment. It's a feeling. When this body, I'll go. You may or may not know. We're not really deciding that now. We just want to find who are you while your body's still here.
Yeah, something's stuck on this after the body goes.
Yes, because that is to do with some kind of fear. You see, when the body goes, what will be left or whatever. But let's find out who you are while the body is here. Okay, then we'll see if we can find out who you are when the body's not here. So now you're here when the body is still warm, so we can carry out this type of exercise and find out. Let's see what you actually can experience, not just believe now. It's not enough that you simply believe or accept, but what are you seeing? What are you experiencing inside? You see? You say, and we talked about it, you can perceive the functions of the senses, the mind, the body, the vital force, all of these things. The world coming and going, boom, 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 all these things coming and going. Sleep coming, sleep going. Dream coming, dream going. Waking state coming, waking state going. Who are you? You see? And I don't want just a mental answer. Oh, yes, I am the consciousness. Because it's just word. It has to be somehow informed by actual seeing. When something really has been understood. There's a difference between an intellectual understanding and really understanding, opening up, flowering inside you. So we've come again to this place. I see all of this. Who am I? Who are you? Please now take a look. Don't imagine. Anything you imagine is also come and go. The one who imagines is what? Who are you? Who perceive imagination? Feel. What is actually here? Are you something tangible? Are you this body? Is it clear for anybody? Is it clear for someone here that I cannot be merely my body? Is it clear for anybody here? Yes, okay. If I am not the body, then what can I be? Look, don't just go into the mind and start to speculate now. Don't want speculation. It's enough what we have looked and how we have looked so far. It's enough to give you a next step, Then what really is here if I'm not the body only? Maybe the body allows me to make this inquiry, allows me to talk about it. I need a mouth to talk about it. Okay? But what really am I? Look. Do I have a form? Am I particularly a woman or particularly a man? Is this fundamental to me? Me is what? Who am I? Something tangible or intangible? And don't imagine. Simply look. Feel. Any sensation that comes in consciousness, if it's a thought or a feeling, you must be there to perceive it. It is secondary. You're primary. Thoughts come, feelings go. Notice often we're reporting about a thought. Yes, this thought is getting more loud. This thought is so strong, Mooji. This thought is really about the past. Why are you talking? Because you're getting involved in it. It's just floating by. You're aware of that. But rather than looking at what is being viewed in front, try and keep your attention on who you are, who is perceiving it. Who or what are you that is perceiving it? Do you have a size? Can I ask you now? Do you have a particular size or a particular shape? Do you have a particular size or a particular shape? What are you? Are you an object? Are you an object? I want to see some of the new faces. Are you an object? Can you see? You cannot. Objects you can perceive. But can you be perceived? Objects you can perceive. And by objects, I don't mean just a table and a light. I'm talking about object in terms of thought and feelings also. They have some sense of tangibility about them. You can see whether they are bitter or sweet. This is what I call object. You see, are you yourself an object? And why not? Why are you not an object like other objects? Do you see people, different shape, different form, different races, different countries? Okay. If you are not the body, who are they? Take it in, take it in, look. Inside this body, where are you particularly? And as what? Do you look like your face? Mhm.
I don't feel I'm a body. I can see beyond that and this presence. But still there is some feeling that it needs to be protected. And in order of that I have
Okay,
to
stop for a
separate
second.
myself.
In
from
order,
the other.
if you are not the body, what needs protecting?
I know.
No. Don't say you know. We're not going to sweep over anything today. I want you to look clearly so that we stop speaking things that we are not clear about. You see, if you are not the body, and are you clear, some of you, that you are not merely the body, that's not cursing the body. I'm not telling you to harm the body. I'm telling you it's not important. I'm saying that it is not fundamentally what you are. It's not the body saying, I am George. What is saying, I am George? What is saying it then? You say that there's a feeling inside, like, do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who you're talking to? You're speaking with someone. Do you know who you're talking to? Huh? How dare you talk to me like this? So who are you exactly? Who is speaking this?
I know it's just some identification that is still there, and I try to identify what is identified with. But if I go through that, it's too much understanding. I'm not going to really grasp what is, and ultimately I go to this one, which is
but you're
just not.
speaking still using the word I. Do you have a license to use this I? You're using it very freely. But I try to look at who is the one who's doing that, but what I find this too difficult. I again. I have to try to catch every one of this I that you're speaking. I try to see who is actually doing these things, but I just find it's too complicated for me. You being what? Who is speaking? Listen, first of all, I'm not leading you towards any state of confusion.
Mhm.
I'm only showing you how confused you are anyway. And then to bring you back to a place of real sanity. The only reason why you are not aware that you're mad is because everybody else is mad. Because we don't know who we are, but it's just like a whole village that's mad elects a mayor and a psychoanalyst out of one of the mad people. I'm just saying like this. I'm making a little bit of joke about it because we're getting too serious, maybe, I don't know. But a little bit, we don't question this because you might feel we're getting more confused. The fact is that we are confused, but it's just that we're happily confused for a long time. Because when everybody is confused, we can just hide. We can just keep making out that we are together, we're really together, So at least sometimes coming into a state of confusion is part of growing out of confusion. Just to show that the ground that we've been standing on is not quite a ground. We're going to pass this to show you your true ground. And no one can make you ungrounded when you see the true ground.
Yes. This ground appears as it's falling away. When after a while, I'm being out of this context and this environment that is constantly pointing to what am I really. Because there is still something not grounded or is still interested, even though I cannot exactly identify with what's that. But
okay, let's before we go too far, because if you go too far, you're going further into confusion.
Anyway, I'm here now.
Yeah, but you are aware that something, when you are not here sufficiently in a physical way, that there's something that comes back that feels a bit ungrounded and a kind of ungroundedness and so on. And then that is believed, you see. Now, this ungroundedness that you may feel, there's an awareness of this ungroundedness. What happens is that you're too much believing in what you see. Wait, you are believing too much in what you see, and you are interpreting with the old mind, with the old regime of thinking. So a feeling is there like, oh, I don't feel grounded, and it's believed. But I don't feel grounded is only a thought being perceived. That which is perceiving the ungroundedness thought, is that ungrounded? Does it need to be grounded? You must experience your discovery and affirm it. I'm going to show you no thought can destabilize you. No thought, no concept can destabilize you except if you believe in it. Because you are there before any concept came. Concepts came subsequent to you. You are not a concept. You are the witness of them. So if you feel that this thought just confused me, that is also a thought believed in. It is the believing in and the identifying with it that gives it that potency. Now, I want to know if we can finish this part of the lesson or not. Otherwise, I don't proceed. Yeah, come.
Hello.
Yeah.
It seems that the sense of I am, either in feeling or in any other way, seems very weak. So there is still a sense to it, but it seems a weak sense of I am.
Who or what weakness is the weakness of I am?
Yes.
Who or what is witnessing the weakness or the strength of the sense I am?
That seems also weak.
Who
Whatever
witnesses that is also weak? Who is a weakness? What is witnessing that even that is weak? Is it after the I am or before the I am? Is it looking back at the I am to say, you're a bit weak over there? No? Or is the I am in front of it and it's saying the I am itself is weak? This has to be clarified, you see. We are not going to leave any blind spot because we do this. It's how the mind works. It just brushes over something and just, okay. But I want you to stop because these are fundamental pointings. It's not many, but they are crucial that you understand them. You say something, the I am itself feel weak. What do you mean by the I am? And who are you who is looking at it? Are you strong? And the I am itself, does it have any quality to be seen to be weak or strong? In order for something to be weak or strong, it must be measured against something else. What will say, in what way can the sense I am be weak? You mean it is weak by the sense of perception, that you're not perceiving it clearly enough, so it seems weak, or that within itself it has no muscle, it's just a kind of I am, or what? But it means it is weak.
The perception of it seems weak.
Perception is seems weak, and the perceiver is what strength? The perceiver of the perception, that which is aware that even the perceiving is weak. Come, you have to do this, or I close up the evening and we gotta go and watch some TV. I want to know from you who is what is there to say that it is weak? In what way is it weak? What is I am? You make sure that the I am is the I am itself, not something maybe being created or imagined.
It's just something that has the idea it has to be strong.
So there's an idea that the I am should be strong. Okay? There's an idea that the I am should be strong. Whose idea is it?
For me, it's more like the presence of I am should be a strong presence.
Okay. I see. Okay, this I understand what you mean. The sense I am should feel more strong in the body. At present, what feels more strong than I am in the body?
Person.
The person feels. Thank you. The person feels stronger only because the person is more loud. The person feels more stronger because the person is more loud. The person actually is a sense of attachment, first of all, to the body and to the identity, and the importance the identity has become to the consciousness that perceives the identity. The personhood. The person also is consciousness, but is a very contracted, very conditioned, very limited expression of consciousness. It's filled of self-belief and desire and attachment. I want this. This is important to me. Why did I lose my house? Why did this thing happen to me? I don't trust God anymore. I don't believe in any God anymore because I just has a lot to say. And it seems somehow to be stronger than the I amness. Does the I amness need to have an effect? The only thing that can happen, you see, either something feels strong because it's full of history, it's full of adventure, it's full of intention, full of desire, full of attachment. So therefore it's loud. Okay? That's one form of strength. Or something is so totally empty of any intention, any identity, you see, so that it is not a flavor that keeps changing. Flavors can change in front of it, but it is unchanging. And it is strong because it is unchanging. Either something is strong because it keeps changing and keeps showing and keep going, whoa, 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 like this, or it's strong because it never changes. It is steady and it witnesses the movement, but itself is unmoving. So who is to determine what strength is? You must define what you mean by strength. Is strength loudness? Or is not the loudness of the mind creates a sense of confusion, dissatisfaction, pain also, rather than credibility? Not because a thing is loud means it is more real, you see, than the thing which cannot be, which doesn't fluctuate, it's always steady. What is the criteria for saying something is real or not real?
It's unchangingness.
It's unchangingness. Very good. Is the person unchanging? No, the person is always changing. If the person is always changing, can it be said to be a thing? What is the shape of an amoeba? It's more like a verb than a noun. And it is being witnessed by something. It is witnessed by the unchanging. Because if everything is changing, who gauges what is changing most? Only the thing which is unchanging perceives correctly the amount of change that is being perceived. So it is from the state of the unchanging, which is the I am sense, which is not combined with anything, that you can perceive the changefulness of the person. And then something says the person seems more real. Why is it more real? Because it's more active?
It seems to catch all the attention.
Because it catches more the attention.
Can observe
Yeah.
this movement of the attention, the person coming inside, the attention goes down.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm hot at the moment.
Sorry.
Please stay with me. Look, because of the amount of the attention that goes to it. Okay? Because attention is one of your great powers. Not you. Your great powers. Where attention goes, it feels like that's my experience. Okay? Attention is very powerful. Okay? But something is able to observe attention. You see? So attention goes to the person. So the person is said to be more real, meaning it's more loud. The attention going to the person, is that not also seen? This is what I want you to do. You are still in the process of your inquiry. The attention is going to, now even attention goes, and so something is not gone. It observes attention going. Sometimes people say, I could not keep my attention fixed on this thing. It kept going off somewhere else. So something witnesses the attention going off. Is this thing going off? This is all I want you to keep staying here. Keep staying in the place that's not going somewhere. You see? And you'll see that everything else is going somewhere, including the attention. Attention is one of your secret great powers. The next great power is the power to believe. And another power is the power to identify with something. You are that which is aware of this. I can see that something is believing in all of this. You are still unmoved.
It seems that I am the attention. I seem to be, that is me, the attention.
But then if you were the attention, and the attention move, who would know the attention move?
It seems like that sometimes.
Yeah, you need to check it out. It's a seeming, it's not a truth. The attention goes there. Now you witness the attention goes there, but something says if the attention goes there, that is really strong. It makes it very strong. Make it very strong means make it very real. These are beliefs, they are not truths. You are the witness of the attention. There is a power here that's unmoved. Here, attention is creating a lot of party over there with the identity and the person is making, but something here is unmoved by it. If there is disturbance, it's because there's a belief. I don't like this. Please stop it. And it's not stopping. But there's strong belief. I want desire. I want it to stop. And yet it is not stopping. So then disturbance comes. If this is flapping here, and the attention is kept only in the awareness, at a certain time, the power will stop going there and just stay with the stillness. When the attention can stay with the stillness, the movement will fall away.
in it.
There comes a time when inquiry has really hit the jackpot, meaning that it is now totally clear. You have used the mirror to see where you are, to see your face. Once you have really seen your face, you don't have to walk around with the mirror in your pocket. You see? You feel like you're moving in all the room. Yeah. Yes. So he says, I feel like I'm moving in all of this room and everything is happening in me. And even the I am presence is coming and going, but the I am presence itself is watching the things going. The sense of being is coming and going. When the sense of being is gone, what remain? When the sense of being is here, what remain? It is not any different. The sense I am is coming and going. We are coming to the point from the person perspective, like I am doing this, I want this to be my life, I, and seeing that this I is mostly made up of belief, conditioning, and false identity, limited. The consciousness by nature wants to be free. Nobody taught it to be free. It just naturally wants to be free. Just like when you're feeling unwell, you don't need a doctor to tell you you should feel well. You know within your own self you feel unwell and that you naturally want to be well. You don't need education for that. In the same way, the consciousness naturally knows itself to be free. When it is bound, it can only be bound because it purchases some idea from the psychological mind that is not really bound. It is just particular. You see? And it likes the particularness of being a person. It likes the sense of privacy. It likes that nobody can know what I'm thinking. It likes the fact that it can achieve and be somebody special by being a person for a while until it wears out of that. Then it says, no, this game is a bit too weak for me now. I want something more strong. Then it maybe can look.
So going back to the attention thing.
He said, going back to the attention thing, yeah.
What I feel is like I know that I'm lost and I lost the attention inside.
Okay, she said, I know that I lost the attention inside.
Not at the same time, but just a bit after.
Yeah, not at the same time, but just a bit after. Okay, just a bit after I realized the attention was straying.
In the moment that
Yeah.
you're lost in whatever thing with the persona,
Yes,
then you realize, oh, I've been identifying. But in that same moment,
yes,
you didn't have, you were not.
yes, but only after the fact is there the recollection that, oh, I was not being present. I was going off with the attention had gone off somewhere. Does it mean then that you always have to be consciously conscious? You always have to be consciously conscious. Because if you have to be consciously conscious, you'll be tired.
Yes.
You see? So it must be something more subtle than that. I would say this is okay in the beginning, once we are beginning to look like this, and you see that, wait a minute, I can see that the attention is going off or whatever. But I am asking you to pay attention more to the thing which is not going off. As you start to pay attention to that which is not going off, not coming and going, then you will not lose energy in noticing it, because it doesn't exhaust energy. It takes a lot of energy to be a person. It takes no energy to be yourself. If you keep looking at the space in which the whole theater of consciousness is being performed and acting, but the weakness of that is not busy watching and involved in the story, and yet at the same time it experiences through this body, and yet at the same time it is beyond this body at the same time.
I have this really intense experience sometimes when you're speaking of witnessing my body falling asleep.
Yes.
And it's like, don't do that, but it's so strong sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I try to keep my eyes open.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Sometimes this happens. She says that sometimes I witness my body trying to fall asleep while you're talking. And this sometimes happen because the habit of the psychological identity, which is sharing in our sense of existence, there's an aspect of ourself, a portion of our energy that doesn't seem to want you to wake up. They want you to stay in the form of the person and just get on with your person things and so on. So it is inclined sometimes when it's just about at the right time to get the right thing, it goes off. So something like this can be like a sense of avoidance. It just goes into like this. But as soon as you're onto it, you're aware of that tendency. You watch him like this each time, and you see that maybe in the past we've just kind of not challenged that. You've just kind of gone along with it. I'm just so tired, I can't do it, whatever. But when you're aware of it and you see that it could be a form of avoidance in some way, you see, and that you are weak, something is witnessing that, then it will turn the things around. It turn things around gradually like this.
Okay, so just stay with it.
Yes, just stay as the awareness alone. You're not the thing which is fluctuating. You're not the thing which is going to sleep. You're not the thing which is waking up. You are there before everything, before every shade, every color.
You mentioned this quite often, to stay with the sense of self.
Yes, yes.
But why does it seem to be so hard to do that?
Because the self, you say, why does it seem so hard to stay as the self? It is not hard to stay as the self. It's not the self is experiencing it being hard to be the self, any more than space is trying hard to remain a space. Suppose I were to say to space, look, stop believing you're the wind and just remember you're space. It is like that in a way. But because all along we are always a self, even in a limited expression. You see, when the self is identified, when the pure self is identified with limitation, you see, its behavior, it comes into a kind of behavior, and this behavior tends to be to disregard or to ignore or to be lazy, or these kind of characteristics can come. But as soon as you're in this kind of environment for a while, things relax a lot more easily. You come to see that I'm naturally in this state without trying. The sense I am, whenever you feel yourself, it is the I am. If you don't add any story into it, you're the I am. The story comes for the person mostly, not so much for the I am. And this will gradually become more simple and natural for you until it becomes effortless again. All witnessing of your fluctuating states, the witnessing or the observing of all these things that come and go, that is occurring to the I am itself. It is the witness. It is the deity of the waking state. Relative to all else, the position of the unmixed, the unassociated presence, the feeling I am, unmixed, that is the witness that you must first know yourself to be. It is from here that even the subtlest movement of thought and feeling and desire and all of these things are perceived in the I am. You see, in the I am first. When you have come to see that that everything is occurring to this sense of being, when you're aware that you exist, and then that existence is not merely a person, but more the existence of consciousness, inside which even the sense of the person seems to be a creative movement, like a mask inside it, then you're getting established in the sense I am. When you're sufficiently established in the sense I am, it will gradually become clear that even now the sense I am begin to be seen phenomenally. When you're in the position to perceive the sense I am to be phenomenal, you're in the unspeakable. You will not have any questions there. Just a few, just to confirm your state, that's all. But that doesn't mean you kill the I am or something. The sense I am, which is what I may call the dynamic aspect of consciousness, through which we have experiencing, and the sense of even satsang needs this dynamic consciousness in order to inquire and to look and to introspect and transcend. All of that is to do with the dynamic consciousness. Only when you have made full use of the dynamic consciousness to recognize your absoluteness as the unchanging, the absolute unchanging one, then you will say that your questions will be finished. All the questions will be finished. And it doesn't mean that then you're willing to drop the body drops immediately because of that. The body can be there, even other bodies can come after this, but delusions are over. As you come to see that your consciousness is pure, and it in fact purifies the world. So it's not that you see the world as being, oh, the world is so terrible and now I'm the pure consciousness. Your pure consciousness perceives the whole world as divine. It is a person that sees fault in the world.
I might have a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I'd like to clarify. Is it the more you put attention to the person, the harder it becomes to be the self?
Yes, he says, is it that the more attention goes to the person, the more you put attention to the person, the harder it is to be the self? Yes. The more you, meaning who, the consciousness, gives reality to the sense of personhood and then lives as personhood, then obviously, well, two kings will not sit on the same throne. When you speak, you believe, I'm the person, then somehow the personhood state seems like it's sufficient. It is sufficient somehow, and you're in the state of personhood, then the attraction to be in the self is not strong. You know, I think if you are completely stoned on coke, you're not going to want to have a beer at the same time. It's enough for you. It's like enough, guys. You're in the state. You're in the coke state. He's in a marijuana state, and another one is in the magic mushroom state. You are quite happy. You don't need any top ups from any other kind of narcotics. When we are in the state, in the narcotic state of being a person, the aspiration to be the self is not there. Only when the person is hurting, the aspiration to go beyond into the state of presence emerge. And that, you see, we need actually the difficulties, the challenges, the sufferings, and so on, to stimulate the aspiration to go beyond them. And this is why a life of comfort, which the mind wants to give, the one wants to have, because having a life of comfort and just nobody troubles you and everything like this, actually is the worst life, makes you go to sleep. You see? And yet we work a lot for this comfort, you know? It's like working so hard just to take the sleeping tablet of being a person. Whereas difficulties, challenges in life compel the consciousness to look more deeply. And the more it looks deeply, the more it flourishes as consciousness, the more it's able to transcend the lower states. But at a certain point, it's transcended everything. When it transcends everything, it doesn't believe itself to be transcendental. It's the most natural thing. It's not natural like a child. There's nothing. Mm-hmm. Wait and take this one for me.
Something I realized during the inquiry is that sometimes there's a voice that, while I'm observing, that says, okay, I'm not this, I'm not this. But sometimes I see that this voice is just not true as well, because it's still like a denial, or it's still in the same bubble. And only then when I see like the whole bubble in front of me, I see this is the whole thing running in front and I'm here.
Yes.
But still, there's something that still is not finished yet. Like I see, oh, I'm here and this is all running. But
I think
still,
I understand what you say. I think in your case, I think you have an illusion about the loss of finishing. There is still something that's playing there that, you know, if I really finish, then that's really the absolute end of fun, or something like this. Something is still playing as though, like, to finish in that way, it's like, you know, it's like an event. It's like, okay, now the race is finished. Now what am I going to do with my shorts? What am I going to do with my thing? There's something that plays in us like that, which is like, you know, it's like, you know, I still love this life, and I still so do I. I mean, it's fine. I mean, the whole of it is divine. But if you love it as a person, you will suffer and perish.
But it applies to inquiry as well, because when it goes, oh, I'm not this, oh, okay, I'm here, then, oh, that's it.
Say again?
It's the same voice applies yes, for the person and for what you describe, but it
Yeah.
applies the same logic sometimes to the thinking and to the inquiry, because like, okay, I've seen I'm not this, I'm not that, like something to do.
I know very well that it
Yeah.
wants to ride on the inquiry bandwagon as well. It will go there. I mean, more than anything else, it wants to do that. It wants to claim victory as a spiritual victory for itself also. You know, like it's helping out. There's a lot of people who have attained a kind of fake enlightenment, because it's, you know, to get the feeling like, you know, okay, I understand that and that's what I am, but it's a kind of belief. But what happened is that energetically in their company, something feels very wrong, because it's mostly just belief. It's kind of idea. Yes, the idea I'm free, the idea I'm not of this, and kind of like an idea, rather than the falling away of ideas. Something becomes totally relaxed and empty and non-dependent upon ideas. You see, it's not an attitude, it's not a pride, it's not a specialness. It's actually empty of all of that. You see, and out of this emptiness, the spontaneity dances out of this emptiness. It's not trying to, you see, because the other one is still as person in it. Still the person who has still done something carries around this sense that I've done something. You know, I'm really the one who did it. I'm just waiting that somebody recognize that I'm the one who did it.
It feels like there's still some control around it. That's when I spot, oh, okay, this, it's not that, because there's the manager, like you said, no, the manager of existence, or some control around it.
Yes.
And but that's the thing, like even when I speak this, I see this, and it's like, okay, I've seen this, but still experientially, like it's not, I don't know.
It is good that you share and you talk, and especially when you're in the space, a community of a sangha like this, your talking is also part of your sadhana. When you speak, you're sharing, and you're also sometimes hearing yourself speak, and you know, in a way, just kind of evaluating assessing your wisdom and this type of thing as well too. But don't be frustrated with any of that. Don't go too much with that. It's best just stay empty. You stay empty, you can't go wrong. Except if the mind starts to go, wow, I'm really empty now. You know, I'm sure I'm the most empty one here. And, then you are in trouble like this, you know. But then you will know that something is playing, and the ego does not smell its own breath. When you're able to somehow pick out these things, then something is washing out the noise of that identity, and it is good. All is fine. Don't you just keep on like you are. Yeah, over there. Say yeah. Yeah, go.
Stuck physically in the face and in the heart.
Yes.
Like a very strong emotional, physical point.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's me, and the face too.
Yes.
I feel stuck there in the inquiry.
Yeah. I can only tell you, you are not. You're not stuck there. It's a feeling that you believe, and if you believe it strongly enough, you believe it into existence, and you will begin to feel it as experience. But it is not a truth. The self can never be stuck. First, it has no form to be stuck against anything. But the self cannot be stuck. It's a sensation that is felt where there's still some amount of personal energy combined with a sense of beingness. And is that gives rise to these sort of sensations as being stuck and being blocked and so on. But in the big picture, they are not true. You are not stuck. So it would be like saying like the space is stuck in this room. You can say the air is stale, but you cannot say the space is stale. You're like the space. Mind is like the air or like the wind. It is more of a thing, but the space is not a thing. It cannot be our old space. You see, Does it grow old? Does it have moods? You see? And I would say that space itself is regarded as one of the five elements. So it is phenomenal in a sense. And yet it is perceived in the self, which is infinitely more subtle than even space. So yourself is like this space, you know. It cannot be stuck. It's just a sensation. It's just a feeling. Don't give too much reality or any reality to that feeling. If you feel stuck, just say there's a sensation of stuckness here, but don't believe it too deeply, like it's a kind of fact or truth, and it will wear out. The important thing is that if it's not given significance, it loses power and it just begins to thaw out. But if it has belief in it, belief is the most powerful thing you can do, the most powerful service you can do in life. Because what you believe, you make true for yourself. If you just see it as a sensation, then it will change. As everything else is compelled to do, everything that is elemental, everything that is phenomenal, everything that is perceivable is subject to change.
Also, I see that the seeing is not clean. Like it's a girl looking and sometimes a history looking. And
But what is looking at that? Because you've heard me use the example before. In satsang one time, I was asking someone, who is looking out from behind those eyes? Who is looking out? And he said, conditioning is looking out. I was very pleased. I felt, oh, it's good. But who is looking at the conditioning looking out? You are behind all. Everything starts after you. Just we have a strong sense, or habitually a sense of identity that has been firmed up because of habit, and then we take that to be a fact, and we tend to start from that place. But gradually you'll come to see that these are just sensations in consciousness, and at a certain point you're going to ignore all of them, you know, and not to your peril. It's not that you're going to ignore them and, oh, it's a great loss that you do it. It'll be a great thing. You say, my God, I thought these things were so important for so long. Evolution or maturity in this life is just about how much you forget. How much you remember just keeps your head noisy with things that you believe to be true. And it's not when I say how much you forget, I don't mean you actively try to forget anything. You forget, you may say, or it gets bleached out of consciousness as you come to see what you truly are rather than what you appear to be. If you're a person needs a lot of information and belief to keep going as a person. Even people who are working in daily life, you know, they only give you 2 or 3 weeks holiday a year, because more than that, and you don't want to go back to work. But most people, not everybody. I mean, some people love their work totally, but after a while, something just lose the connection with things like that. If you're not grounded in the heart with it, some work you're clearly meant to be doing. It is deeply linked to your. You'll use that work to evolve spiritually. We're using that. And the other work that we are doing, especially if you have the idea that you're just working for money, that you will not learn so fast from that, because the attitude is not the truthful. You see?
I can feel that the love is seen and the joy is seen. And I also seen that attention. And I'm leaving on Monday, and I also can see that my brain is like telling me that, oh, only be, or you have to do that, or like special things coming up. And my question is that in the inquiry, is it important to the thing what is like really in this felt is like a big light who wants to turn back?
It can be put in many ways, and I'm happy that we learn and see things in lots of different ways. This is a very healthy way of perceiving. We should never perceive only in one way. You see, I mean, all of this life, because the human intellect and human capacity, mental and psychological capacity is so limited that if it were to learn from just one place, it would just develop bigotry and and fascist thoughts and so on. It is very, very good that we learn from many different ways of looking at things. We don't have to go about doing that. Life provides everything you need.
So I go on Monday.
Yes.
And I go with this life.
Yes.
And if it happens that I had to go to the forest alone, I do it. If it happens that I want to make a pasta, I do that.
Yes.
Is it simple as that?
Yes, it is simple. Phenomenally, that is simple enough. What is important today is that today is not Monday, today is Saturday.
Yes.
And today you can find out all you need to find out. You don't have to worry about tomorrow or Monday, in the sense that it becomes, in a little bit way, you can say irrelevant, but life still goes on. If you're a mother, you still be a mother. If you're somewhere, you still work. But something will have changed. The place from where you are looking from will have become much vaster than that. You see, I'm not telling anybody go and kill your life. I'm just saying you can come more deeply into your seeing. As you come more deeply into your seeing, what is not in service to your truth will fall away by itself. You don't have to do anything about it. And if you understood, if you understand what I'm speaking, I pray that grace also, that you're opening your heart to grace, because there are many things that, without grace, the person is still present and think that it's the person doing it. Grace helps to remove the sense of the person and help you to recognize that you are consciousness, introspecting into consciousness through consciousness. And this is the important thing. Otherwise, we are still retaining in the sense of a person doing something to become the in-person. So it's not like that. All of this is God's will, God's grace and love that allows us to come and look and to come out of the suffering state of personhood and the arrogance of personhood, and to begin to experience and clarify and enjoy your divinity as wholeness. And this wholeness and holiness is not different, you see. And what it comes to is, in a sense, your mind become free from these locked conceptual states that bind the consciousness and keep it feeling limited. When I point you to that in yourself, which is beyond quality, it is the most profound recognition, because if you are beyond quality, then quality cannot bind you. And yet you're not afraid of them. You understand things in the correct context. That in the phenomenal world, the manifest world of names and forms, you will move in this world with this body and experience and know that somehow this is an aspect of yourself. This is your dynamic being moving in life and having the sense of growth and maturity and all of these things. And yet you still know that all of this is in the theater of consciousness, that all of this is on the screen of consciousness, including you being there holding this microphone at this moment. But this is a three-dimensional screen. It's not a flat screen. It has depth and time and sense of space and feeling and everything. You're playing in your own movie. At the same time, you're an audience to it. But where are you sitting inside all of this? You see, this is why people say, yes, I am doing this, but I'm actually doing nothing at all, because of this two-aspected feeling. You see, one is that you're in the sense of doing. Yes, I'm going down to San Martino earlier or later this afternoon and something, talking like that. But actually, that doesn't have the gravity. It doesn't have the heaviness that it used to have when you have the pride of a person. When it comes out of the mouth of consciousness, it's a much lighter thing. So if you say, I'm going to San Martino at 9 o'clock tonight, and you end up in Odemira, it doesn't matter, actually. You know that well, actually, that's, hallelujah. I mean, I'm always in the right place somehow. You have this feeling, you see, and you're not fighting with life. So I'm not trying to say that the phenomenal life Is a lesser life. All I say is that it is impermanent and it is always changing. And I don't know who can refute that. Nobody can refute it, that it is always changing. Phenomenality is always changing. And that which witnesses the change but is unaffected by it is the pure self. You are both that which is changing and you are also the unchanging, but you are more true as the unchanging with the apparent changeful aspect. This is always changing and growing and evolving and amazing. We are constantly maturing and refining and becoming more deep against a background of unchanging awareness. It's a paradox. Mind cannot understand that. As long as you have the privilege of being in the body, experiencing in the body through time and the duration, the shape and the name and so on, you will experience growth, and its beauty is part of the beauty of life. It's just unfathomable. You're growing deeper and deeper. And at the same time, from the perspective of pure awareness, you're always the timelessly unchanging. Yeah.
Can I only say that I want to say that something happened here, and that's that I don't want to interrupt life. I can
Interrupt
see,
life.
yes, I can see like the feeling here is that life is coming through, and I can see life around me. And it happened like that I don't want to interrupt.
In a way, in the big picture, you cannot interrupt, because even disharmony is inside the greater harmony. It plays everything. It plays good and bad, right and wrong, up and down, you and me, heaven and hell, life and death. Everything is played in consciousness. You see, it is arrogance to think that you can make one difference to consciousness. You are the consciousness, having to do what you have to do. If for a while you have to bump into trees for a bit and to, have fights with people, the consciousness is growing through it. Hopefully, we say that the consciousness grows through that. And if it is because of some intense arrogance or something, it is still a kind of growth that at some point the suffering will become heavier than the joy. And so something will have to transcend that state, because it is compelled within your being that you must evolve at the evolutionary dimension of existence. You see, you cannot, just in the same way, you cannot wake up one morning and decide to not experience. It's just while you're in the waking state, perception is happening, and against the background of the sense of being, and that goes on automatically. And if you hold on to just the sense of being, you'll see that movements you are urged into movement, and that when you're urged into movement without trying to manipulate and to control them too much, you find that life becomes more sweet,
Yes,
more kind, and much more harmonious, like that. When you have a strong sense of personal identity, we are much more fearful, and then you try to control life more, because that's the nature of fear, is to try and control and to suppress. The more you try to suppress, the more conflict we experience, and the more sort of confusion come. So true that the consciousness learns and it chooses its path, and at the same time is flowing through a chosen path. It's not things that are easily explained. We have a life. In most human beings, we think that we've pretty much got it all sussed. We pretty much got it. We understand, but we don't understand, actually. To understand, you have to forget about you. You have to go beyond you. You have to become totally empty, so that only God's wisdom is inside this body, not just a person. A person is also a form of consciousness, but as I said before, it's very limited and inclined towards arrogance and selfishness, a state that is not beautiful. But life compels us to go beyond that. It hurts you. When you are hurtful to other beings, it will hurt you until you give up that those disharmonious functioning. It's just, we don't have to learn all of this thing. You just, like I say, you have to learn only the thing you need to know. That in all the things, you see, you come back to the place that you are the witness of them, and they are perceived as this determined and impelled by the force of your own conditioning. And this you with conditioning is a little bit of a hybrid. It's a constructed self. It's not the pure self. And as you begin to see this, you're automatically realigning your own being with your natural self. And that's all that has to happen. The rest is just coming out spontaneously, automatically out of that. And what joy, because if you had to unlearn and then learn everything one by one, it would be such a suffering. This is grace, and this is why I feel the more you feel inclined to show gratitude to life and to say thank you for even the taste of experiencing. Thanks for the senses are functioning fine, and I can use my mind in the correct way to try and solve this mystery of and this to transcend the power of delusions and so on. I think all goes well with you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was just thinking that the purpose of the inquiry is actually to bring you back to yourself.
Yes, the purpose of the inquiry says is to bring you back to yourself. You can say the purpose of the inquiry is to show that you have never left, actually, except through dreaming, to our own dreaming. That's not say, oh, you are to be blamed. You know, in fact, all of this life, as we grow, we come to see how great life is. That it caters to not just the taste, but the needs of every living being. That we get what we need, and the great thing about life is not about how long you live, but just how true you are. That is the greater measuring stick, if you want to say one. Not how long you live, but the depth and the understanding you have attained as to your true nature. That is the most important.
Guruji, bisogno della traduzione?
Yeah.
Prima, grazie.
Prego.
Quando ascolto la tua voce, il suono.
So when she listens to the sound of your voice,
Let us speak also in the mic.
Esce, sento uscire da un centro che è il cuore, perché arriva al cuore, e sento uno stato di grazia. E questo ego.
so the sound of your voice goes directly into her being and directly into her heart, and she feels completely her heart.
Yeah.
And so
she wants to know if it is ego that is, you know what?
No, she's saying that then the ego.
Yeah. Oh, then the ego. Okay.
Ego. Voglio sapere se è ancora ego, perché si sente il suono. Chi dice questo suono? Che cos'è? È una sensazione, quindi nelle sensazioni c'è ancora l'ego.
She says, because she has this strong sensation coming from receiving your words, she's wondering whether this is still in the realm of ego, because it's very much into this feeling.
Yes.
It's a sensation.
See. I'm going to say yes, but a good yes. It's a good yes in the sense that it is in the form of ego, because almost everything, while we have the sense of identity, we are still perceiving in the realm of ego, nature, no?
Dice di sì, però è un buon sì, nel senso che tutto questo avviene sempre nel regno, diciamo, dell'identità, dell'ego.
But I said it's a good yes, my answer, because to have this kind of response to truth is what I would call a sattvic response, which means that the heart, our own heart and mind, is sufficiently open to be touched by words that point you to the truth.
La sua risposta era un buon sì, perché perché questa sensazione che tu hai rivela che il tuo cuore e la tua mente sono sattvici, la tua mente è molto sattvica e quindi è aperta a essere guidata verso la sorgente, verso la verità.
Good, good. And you understand term sattvic, as I explained?
Capisci il significato della parola sattvico? Sai che cosa vuol dire?
Sattvic meaning that a higher form of consciousness, within the realm of phenomenality.
Nel fenomenico è una qualità molto alta della coscienza.
Molti anni fa è difficile non dire io. Questo corpo ha avuto esperienza di non duale, però come se non fosse rimasto impresso, è un po' ballerino.
She's saying that she had experience of non-duality, of state of a non-dual state.
Yes.
But this state has not remained stable and it's kind of coming and going.
Yes, for now. Yeah.
Per adesso.
Because what happened, generally, for as long as the sense of personhood persists,
Fin tanto che persiste il senso della persona,
as the person becomes more refined in consciousness,
mentre quando la persona comincia ad essere più rifinita, più sottile nella coscienza, assorbita nella coscienza,
they will be experiencing flashes or moments of no mind, pure awareness, no mind.
La persona comincerà ad avere esperienze o come dei flash di stati di non mente e stati di non mente, di non dualità.
And whereas when they stay in the state of like a sage, they are always in the state of the pure, and they get sometimes flashes of identity.
Mentre lo stato lo stato interiore di un saggio è che è sempre nello stato di non mente, non duale, e ogni tanto ha dei flash di identità.
But the true nature is that we are the non-dual self, but necessarily experiencing true duality for a time.
Il vero stato, lo stato vero di ciò che noi siamo, è che siamo in uno stato di non dualità, ma facciamo esperienza attraverso la dualità.
Ho anche avvertito e la mente è diventata molto più sottile, più furba.
She's saying that she senses that the mind has become more subtle and more like tricky.
Yes. The mind can only become tricky if you are trickable.
La mente può diventare furba, può farti degli inganni se tu puoi essere ingannata. Se tu puoi essere ingannata. She understands.
Maybe you take it.
Before you said when you are in the position to see the pure presence, you are in the unspeakable. In the pure presence, there is still individuality, some individuality.
Duality is not an error. Duality is not a mistake. Duality is a necessary tool in order to allow consciousness to have the taste of experiencing. Experiencing necessitates duality, so there are people who are so fiercely identified with or want to believe that there's only non-duality, and there's only non-duality, there's nothing else, there's duality. And so we just have to laugh. It's very funny to hear that say, because even to say there is non-duality that there's only non-duality, it necessitates that you must believe in duality. Otherwise, the statement is not valid. You see, like this, some people very much, but is it not you speak in duality? And I said, but if you say he's speaking duality, this he is duality, and you is duality. Why don't just relax about it, and stop making it like it's you can be super clean. You see, like this. It doesn't what it imply. When I say that when one is in a state to observe or to be aware of even the sense of presence, then automatically you're in the state of the unspeakable, meaning that the indefinable. But it has no clash with duality. No, it still continues to function, because supposing everyone who awakens to the self basically could not speak anymore, then who would be there to pass on the pointing and so on? Everybody's swimming for themselves. So the fact is that the duality is a way in which consciousness expresses compassion and love and unity by sharing from direct experience rather than from speculative knowledge.
Yeah, in my experience of inquiring, I feel like I can do something, do more playing with attention until I'm in the sense of presence. And once I'm there, there is not so much to do.
Yeah, I find that in the state of presence, the activities are not determined by any person or so on, but actually, your actions become the actions of the universe, in fact, that somehow something wants to happen. Because you're doing something, for instance, so your action made here, you may think I moved this to put there, and that's my action. I did it. But your action is only part of a greater series of actions that the universe wants to make through this body. And there's no independent, manager in this body, only a seeming one. It is, as I said before, there's no dialogues actually happening. The whole of this universe is a monologue. It's only the self talking with itself, with the apparent sense of another, like that. And so, when it plays as disharmony or plays as personhood, it intensifies the sense of duality and separateness, which it wants to do to do that. Then it plays also the sense of unity and create a beautiful power that attracts itself, that is presently playing in one form, strongly in the form of duality. It draws it back towards the non-dual source. So that duality and non-duality, actually at a certain point you forget both these terminologies and stay as the self. Everything is useful up to a point, but best use of them is when nobody's there to make use of them, and they're just the flow and the outpourings, the dance of the consciousness itself. You play like that. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel I understand the sense of I am.
Yes.
And with this, I understand also that nothing can bother you, because nothing happened to you, and the other person is also the one. Some actions come from other person. You can see that there's not that person. So
you must actually see that authentically, not just believe that, because sometimes you feel, well, if you're the consciousness, then nothing's really happening to you, so nothing's happened to anybody, and then after a while we go into some big talk like this. What actually happened is that understanding keeps maturing and developing. It takes over time. It grows into a beautiful completeness, where it's not just about the knowledge of it, but you are the actuality of it, and also of the knowledge.
Still, I don't understand yet how, I don't know if the word is correct, to do inquiry. If I have it's a situation that need inquiry because you don't reach that state of consciousness, I still don't understand, or the mind doesn't understand how to do it.
Actually, I have already put the seed in you about more about it, and you'll find that as time goes on, you may just find that you are inquiring without any even intention to inquire. You find that when it is appropriate, because I don't want to put inquiry as some kind of dry practice that you just get up at 6 o'clock and inquire or something like this. You'll find that as you live in the life, you may find something arises for you and you feel very strongly, and I think, oh, how am I going to do that? And somebody can ask you, like, how is who exactly going to do it? It may just come like this, and it grows very naturally also. It is like putting one thing with just one tiny little root, and it grows into 1,000 roots by itself. It does work like that. Not everything is being done by the person putting each thing in the right place. Automatically, you look at life, it grows organically. We don't know how it goes. You don't know how from one moment, you don't know anything about the inquiry, and after a while you find that somehow you can show someone and guide someone through the inquiry. And they ask you, how did you learn? So, I'm not even sure how I learned, actually. I don't know. It just feels like it goes like this, like the rest of life. It seems just to come out of itself. You see? How do you ride a bicycle? I don't know. You try to explain that. You make a silly thing out of it. You can't explain how you did it. You practice, and at a certain point, somehow it happened. But when it happened, what did you especially do that day? You start to ride bicycle. You have bloody knees for 3 weeks and stuff, and bumping into things, killing people on the street. And then one day suddenly you're riding. What did you do especially on that day? Nothing. So also you're inquiring, looking. What's this? And so back, I don't get it. I don't know. And then one day somehow it comes. And it's wow. Like, yeah, but I mean, who is saying this thing? It's wow. And you feel the space of it. It creates a space inside. Like, this is just a thought, but it's just a thought. It's just a thought, It keeps coming back. But whose thought is it? And you may find that with this question, you don't want to pick up any other question. You're trying to say, whose thought is it? Whose thought is it? And just turning your attention there has changed and created a new reorientation inside your mind. It cannot be put down like some kind of some code or some kind of manual. It's such an organic, just like everything in your life is like this. But something, it brought you here to begin to trigger this kind of investigation a bit, and to continue to be aware of that. And what is beautiful that I want to encourage is how universal it is. I'm not trying to say, this is this type of person. You're type of anything. When something comes back to emptiness, it transcends all categories. And so, in a sense, you can see the different perspectives of looking without, sort of like disrespecting them or grabbing onto them. You automatically see, because the seeing becomes all encompassing. It's not a belief system. This instrument of self-inquiry is not a belief system. It's just a way in which to facilitate a simple way of looking. Now, if you feel that you feel inclined to pray and ask God for help you to merge in the supreme being, or to understand, to use the inquiry better, this is all fine. It's all the same one. You see, the importance is just how quick one gets out of the habit of referring to oneself always as the person, as the identity. This you'll outgrow, and the sooner the better, because your life is like so much broader and so much more silent and open and fearless. Like this. It's not Self-inquiry is not a practice for life. I'm not telling you to practice for life. I don't tell you how long. It depends on something. Something it will depend on. Maybe after a few days, or few weeks, a few months, in the fact something you inquire yourself out of the picture, and that's it. Which is very beautiful, you know. You simply can't find you. Hello, Janet. What's so? Hi, how are you doing? But you don't know who they're talking about, in a sense. But it's not that you become stupid. You kind of understand, but you understand and you see completely the illusoriness of all of this at the same time. But it's not some strangeness. It's not strange.
I just want to express my gratitude.
Yes.
Because over and over you've been saying the same things, and now I really, really see it clearly.
Yeah.
Like in just a few seconds, all of these beliefs that have held me so captive for so long have just been so shattered. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you.
I love you too. Because, it is like this, and we just bringing it over and over and bringing it back, and sometimes again somehow the mind builds up some kind of noise again, and you keep looking, and something feels like, wow, I just thought I did all of that already. I just cleared the whole house empty and it's full again of rubbish, like this. And something goes through a little bit, and somehow you what to do. You keep looking again and throw the stuff out and burn it in the back, and it keeps coming back on for a bit. But it does have a end of time thing happen. The less and less stuff come, like the weeds come in your garden. You keep pulling them up. The next day they're up again, and you pull them up again. Next day come, you pull them up again. And you don't say, "Oh, I have had enough. Okay, let's leave them." No, you pull them up, and then at a certain point, they lose power. It's just habit, we learned ignorance out of habit, and you again recognize the truth out of habit. Repetition, being repeated. So yes, okay. Ooh.
It's more than a habit. Sometimes it's very subtle that I have that I notice that there is some very subtle refusing also about attention to there is a seeing that it's going there and it's not the right direction.
You
and
must look, and as you investigate, you may come to find that you still have some investment in personhood.
Yeah,
this is what is perpetuating these states for a long time, because something believes in a certain aspect of this and identifies with it. There's nothing wrong with using your mind in the life. If I want to learn to make picture frames, or I want to make paintings and stuff, there's nothing wrong with it if you see that all of it is the expression of consciousness. But if you then sort of like start to look and think, well, I want to do, I start to cultivate a strength inside as a personal I, then naturally the urge to go beyond the personal I will not come, because you already choose in a way to want to be that. The thing is that sometimes you make a choice, you forget you've made. You make a choice that I don't really want to do this, but you keep going to the classes to do it. Inside, you keep going to the class and you sign up for another term, but inside, I don't really want to get it. But you keep going, and so you keep asking, why you go? And if you look, say, actually, because I like the teacher or something or whatever, is not good enough motive. Sometimes we have to see, why is it perpetuating? Because by itself, it has no power without your investment of energy and belief. That's the only way it can go. It cannot go by itself. A belief cannot develop by itself. It has to be somebody's belief. You see?
I just want to check in with you, I guess. I don't really have any idea of what's going on with this life at all, which is actually kind of nice. I find lots of gratitude coming in many different moments. moments of immense joy and love, and then other moments of fear and embarrassment and worry and all of those things. And it feels like everything ultimately empties out. And a lot of gratitude comes from that.
I feel it is important to look at these things and to see what is it that is keeps returning, and look at them and what is their business here? What is their business here? I have met people who have had a kind of awakening experience and then go back into some invested duality and then lose or get covered up this light that's pouring from them, and then come back to satsang to kind of like, rekindle the light or something like that. And I've become a little bit attached to this rekindling feeling, to like, wow, yeah, I know, that's it, thank you, like this type of thing. And otherwise, once you've looked a few times and really looked at something and see that it has no value or any reality apart from a superficial appearance, then with the pulling away of your interest, that thing diminishes in potency, and after a short time it ceases to be relevant for you. It doesn't anymore feature in your self-assessment or something like this, so if it keeps going on, it's getting fuel from somewhere. It must be getting fuel, and then you can look and see where's the fuel coming from. This much is possible, but the aspiration inside, the urge to do it, must also be there. And that, you see. So we're good for the moment. I don't expect by any means that, okay, it's finished, we've done it, okay, and like this. But I hope that somehow you have a sense of, who you are when you say I. Yes, but you see, the thing is, in my life, my trouble is that if something must stop this and think, wait, who is speaking this thing? And at a certain point, you start to see, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. Why keep saying this thing? Not something outside says, stop talking like that because, you're now a monk. No. But you start to look and say, wait, but that's not true. That's just another kind of idea. Then what is true? Is there something true that is true? You see, and this little kind of inquiries begin, and their yielding is so amazing, you see. Just like you put a little bit of yeast and it makes such a big effect. A little bit of inquiry that produces such a tremendous effect, and power. You see. So I wanted to have this. I don't know how successful it is, but of just trying to again keep opening up this opening up this box, opening up the window a little bit, looking, and get more familiar with this. Don't be frightened by the inquiry. It is your friend. It is a tool, in the pocket of your heart you can use, and you keep looking, and that this is all I am sharing anyway, over and over. And gradually you come to see, well, wait a minute, but things are so simple. The life can be very simple and at the same time be complete. Simple, but complete. Effortless, but totally satisfying. And what can I really lose apart from delusion? Then will you weep for losing delusions? Because sometimes we want to invest in some delusion. This is also an expression of consciousness. It wants to invest some energy into some delusion, because every part of it, including delusion, is part of consciousness. It wants to believe in something and play. It wants to create imaginary things and stuff. And of course, this is what consciousness does. It's one of the expressions of consciousness. But the great expression of consciousness is a self-reflection. When it begins to self-reflect at what it truly is and how it does not need anymore to be clinging to its projections, and it's not able to leave its projections alone or to control them. And aspiration grow inside, and as it begins to look, and there is no joy that can compare with the joy of self-reflection, because it strips the being from all this clutter, and in this total nakedness, you're in the height of your essence. And this is the invitation of satsang. So thank you, everybody, and very good, very good, very good. As you move in this, wherever you find yourself, as you move in this, and feel the space that is the awareness itself. You feel the space of awareness, and you feel the functioning of perception of the senses and everything. That everything is just blowing through the space of being, like, oh, like this. Like this body is just sort of like a very translucent, transparent thing that sensations are just blowing through. Even maybe you find that even the body is not even there at all in this way. You're just like a space. I mean, the body has a certain proportion, but you're now beyond the proportion of body. And somehow you're just like a space that is beyond shape or no size. But there's still this wonderful sense of beingness, and the play of perception of light, and sensations come, and something wants to, you see when the consciousness wants to form itself into a person again, but immediately you see that that's a shape in the shapeless. Somehow you're looking out from this great emptiness, from this great space, but you don't belong to any particular location apart from the location of the sense of here-ness. But this here-ness is not a pinpoint. It's this here-ness as a kind of heavy awareness about it. And it is already so, you see, and get used to. Don't be, if feelings of panic comes or something, just see them, that's also another sensation, It also passes. And there's no panic. And you'll find that something, an ability is still in you to respond to and interact with other beings at the appropriate level. And this is a wonderful discovery, that you do not need any technique or any sort of strategy to live, because you are life. You produce your own actions. Everything is spontaneous like this. You see? You don't, whenever the tendency arises to define yourself, you immediately see that it feels like it is confining a self. It's creating a sense of limitation. And you have a choice to just not go with that thought. It becomes painful, and this is your gift. That every time you condense into some tight space, it starts to feel like, what? Oh, in your heart, that is. You see? And this is the changing over, actually, because you see how amazing consciousness is, because it can live with so much contortions. we have contorted the life and it's still going on. And then you say, wait a minute. But something can, but I'm still me. What a wonderful discovery, because it's not saying that you need to be the shape, you need to be blue. You're a blue person. Oh, I'm a yellow person, or whatever. You are no person, actually. But you can be also. You can momentarily, you feel the feeling of being person, but it never jumps out of the greater awareness that you are not an object. And don't try to work out ahead of time how that should come across to anybody. You don't. You are going to discover more and more this wonderful freedom. And the beauty is that you don't have to be trying to create a way to be. You'll find that if you stop trying to be, beingness remain. And it knows how to fluff its feathers. If it wants to do it, it knows quite how to do it in the moment. It doesn't know how to do it tomorrow. It just knows, it just does it now. But we are rehearsing for tomorrow, which is only another concept. And this is why I say that the ones who are awake, they are the happiest beings, because they got nothing to do. You know, still activities happen, the most beautiful sort. Because when there's nothing to do, doesn't mean there's a cessation of activity. Activities happen, and as compelled by the vital force it wants to do. You forget everything, forget everything. You forget all your touch. Can you imagine? Forget everything, including who you are and what you should do. And I'm this, and I'm a mother, and I'm a father, and I got to sort out something by next week. And it just, something just. Now, can you bear the world saying, well, you're a very irresponsible person? You see? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to go around telling anybody that you are responsible or irresponsible. Somehow, everything is as it should be. You may find after the most beautiful satsang, you leave and go out and get into a big fight with someone. And something goes, but this shouldn't happen. And I was feeling so peaceful. I really felt that, I was walking with angels. Where did this Satan come from? You say, you know what? You can come. There's space for you also. You have a big argument, but inside something empty. Like, I don't want to say how you should feel. You should be okay to feel any way. This is a feeling instrument. You see? But when we start to give, judgments about, the price of this and what this means and so on, the interpreting tendencies, they create a little bit of a bad smell. You can be totally empty. And even when you forget to be empty, that just kind of that's another idea arising in emptiness. Here you are to be empty, then you feel, oh my God, it was for 15 minutes I was not empty. Well, that's another idea in emptiness. You like this. I mean, the whole thing is so beautiful. What to say about it? The whole thing is so beautiful, and also, nothing is wrong with you, except how you use this thing. The only thing is the level of programming and the belief in the conditioning and identity is going to create some sting bombs, which then the world has to suffer or enjoy, whatever. Why only in a way? All is the grace. When you see the all is grace, when you think only something is grace, that is disgrace. All is grace. The wise one see, that even when something hit on the foot, and something does come out of it, but they don't necessarily sit and wait. What's going to come out of this? They just move on. You may not learn your lesson until next week, 1 week after the incident, or maybe never. We don't know. But something is okay about it. Huh? So.
Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru Amkara, Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru Amkara. Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Har 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 Mahadeva. Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Har 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 Mahadeva. Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru Amkara. Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru Amkara. Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Har 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 Mahadeva. Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Har 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 Mahadeva. Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru Amkara. Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru Amkara. Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Har 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 Mahadeva. Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Har 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 Mahadeva. Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru Amkara. Jai Guru Amkara, Jai Jai Sat Guru